the Biden team and Biden himself will say that these are a bunch of elites. This is the Democratic donor class trying to push me out. What do they know? Look what happened in 2020. Everybody counted me out. But they're not counting on the voters here and what the voters say about Joe Biden. There's a polling that's been out there. We've seen all those numbers. I got out and I spoke to voters. We mentioned this the other day. I spoke to voters in Wauwatosa. Did I get that right?
It's Wauwatosa.
Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Democratic voters, and I asked them what they thought of Joe Biden. Let's listen.
You look like you need to have a conversation about politics. Like, you're just like, you scream, ask me about the presidential election. No. Are you not excited?
No. I feel like they're both annoying.
They're both annoying?
Like, they're both just not good candidates.
No one's excited nationwide.
I just feel stuck with, like, I don't know, that's who it is. I mean, if I'm being honest, they're just both old white men who are just untouched with reality.
For me, it's also more so just like an offensive vote against Trump.
Do you want Joe Biden to run?
Oh, if I had the choice, I mean, he would have exited and we would have literally anyone else.
Would you prefer somebody else?
I don't know if I have a specific candidate, but I think there are better candidates than Biden on the Democratic side.
What would you want to see from that candidate if it was someone else?
Someone not as old.
Someone not as old. Thankfully, that tape played while they were getting to the crescendo of Nessun Dorma. And now it's over, hopefully. So Wauwatosa, swing town.
It really is. It's a town that historically was thought of as Republican, but it's had a lot of out movement from the city, and now it is really a town where Democrats do pretty well, but where they've got to do well. In Wisconsin, Democrats have to do well in sort of these inner ring suburbs and places like that. So what you had there was a good sample, and frankly, I don't think anybody in Wisconsin is going to tell you Wauwatosa is the elites.
But here's the thing. I mean, that is emblematic of what the Democratic Party needs. In a state like Wisconsin, you've got to get people off the couch and into the voting booth. You've got to excite them, not just as a voting against the other guy, which worked in 2020 because of all the reasons that you've laid out so eloquently about COVID, whatnot. But in 2024, when the stakes don't seem as dire in their everyday lives.
Right. And again, I keep coming back to why are all of these elected Democrats so panicked about this, particularly House Democrats? Because the majority, the path to the majority for the House goes through blue states. So they need Democrats not to be demoralized sitting on the couch in California and New York. They've got 7 districts they're trying to flip just in those 2 blue states.
Yeah.
So they need a Democratic base that is fired up about something. And look, the polling says it. You can get anecdotes. You can get whatever you want. I don't know what Biden's looking at to somehow make himself feel as if this is. Look, Trump can lose this election because he's Donald Trump. There's 100%. So he's never, if he wants to say to himself he has a shot at winning, he can. But he's not going to win this campaign. He has to hope Trump loses the election.
But isn't what he's looking at who else could follow him and who else could actually make a case? And to give the White House and President Biden some credit here on that, when I was talking to voters and I said, well, who else do you like? I got they don't know. They don't know who the other contenders could be. And I mean, you could argue that's a failure of the White House for not elevating everybody as he was supposed to be a bridge. But the name recognition for a Democratic candidate is not as good as Joe Biden, certainly not as good as Donald Trump.
Doesn't matter.
Why?
Because the minute it happens, that name recognition is going to be incredibly high. And so the question for the
this isn't the 1980s,
where
it takes time to introduce yourself.
You're not waiting for the morning paper.
Correct.
I wish you were.
But we're all living in divided ecospheres.
But
does that attention get into people's social media feeds? Does it get to the people who aren't reading newspapers or watching cable news?
Yes, because it will be wall-to-wall. And because this conversation has taken over not just the Democratic Party, but pretty much society. When I walk down the street, people will pull their bike to the side if they know me from TV or whatever, and they'll say, what do you think? What's happening? And so this is a big deal. When this comes down, if it does, and again, I talked last night to a Democratic Party chair, very smart, capable chair, who absolutely was still saying, I think there's still a way for Biden. So, to understand but understand it's there.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to say is, when this comes down, if there is the switch, it is going to be wall-to-wall, dominant. It will be history, and everybody will actually do that rare thing in politics, which is say, I want to download on this. I want to tell me about this person.
Well, it's actually what tonight, it's what's fascinating is 4 weeks ago, the country wasn't interested in getting new information about Donald Trump or Joe Biden. All of a sudden, I think tonight, the one opportunity he has, more people are going to tune in out of curiosity tonight
to see what he's like.
Post assassination attempt. And if the Democrats name a new nominee, Kamala Harris, who you may think the country has made
up its mind
on her, they're going to let's see what let me see what this version is.
And can I?
So all of a sudden, you're going to have a much potentially more engaged electorate, and a more engaged electorate suddenly scrambles things up. And if you're the Democrats right now, you need the chessboard is all checkmate. Every move is checkmate with Biden.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just a whole bunch of checkmates. The only shot you have is literally to take the board and throw it up in the air.
Oh, okay.
Kamala Harris has I'm sorry, but Kamala Harris,
I want to talk about Kamala Harris.
She has a great story, which has, in a way, she sort of benefits by it not being told, right? By it not being told enough. She was raised largely by a single mom who was a cancer researcher. She moved around the country. She's done a lot of interesting things. Some people like her, some don't. But the bottom line is there's a lot to fill in there, and it's actually a pretty compelling story.
And I will say this. In some ways, now that she knows what type of Democrat she is, right? Her presidential campaign was a mess because she was told to try to sound like a progressive
be a prosecutor at that moment.
Well, at the moment, she was trying to pretend she was, and I'm not trying to, she was trying to sound more progressive than she really was. But then every once in a while, and she was always like, the healthcare plan was, this time, she's got a record that she's going to run on, which is the Biden-Harris record, right? So in some ways, she doesn't have to vacillate between appeasing the Medicare for all people versus the non-Medicare, right? And that's
a little bit of,
but I don't think she has to do it as much.
But I think she'll do fine with them. That's the
I think
line.
she already, she has, and essentially you defend the Biden ideology.
And,
no, go ahead.
And she has been, people don't know that she's been Biden's point person on labor. She's literally the person who goes and speaks to every convention, who is on the phone whenever he strikes. How's it going?
Right.
And so the bottom line is she's got a Rolodex right now, or whatever we call it in our phone.
So does the union endorsement fall in line behind Kamala Harris if she is the nominee? If Joe Biden steps aside, still an if right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ifs. I do think running mates can help with that insider stuff, and this is where we've been
talking about it. So
right.
Say it is Kamala Harris. They don't just open it up to.
No, and I just really don't think they will. I really don't think they will.
Who is the?
By the way, in order to do that, you actually have to get 600. I've got the rules on this today. You got to get your own signatures of delegates to get into the roll call, and you can't have more than 50 from one state. So it's not like you can. The point is, there's actually a process here. It's going to be really hard to challenge Harris.
Got it.
For this nomination.
So if she is the nominee, if, who does she pick as a running mate? Who would be the best asset for her? Because I want to talk. I know we want to talk about Andy Bashir.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about Gretchen Whitmer and just the prospect of having two women on a ticket and what that might mean for an electorate like this one in the country. I mean, I think the traditional belief is that women can't win because there's just so much embedded sexism out there, and what happened with Hillary Clinton. But I don't know if that's true.
Somebody who wasn't going to vote. Somebody who says, man, I'm not going to vote for Kamala Harris because she's a woman, but then she puts a guy in it, it's okay. That's not how it works. No,
I agree with that.
If the people that aren't going to vote for her aren't going to vote for her. The bottom line is this. I argued back in 2016 that Hillary Clinton should pick Elizabeth Warren as her running mate because she had run against Bernie Sanders. There was a progressive force within the party that was ill at ease, was concerned. I think it would have done a lot to unite the party, and frankly, I think it would have been highly effective.
I'll make the
quick point for Andy Bashir.
This convention has made the Whitman idea more feasible to me. This is a very bro-ish convention. Okay, J.D. Vance.
Rock is going to play tonight. We're going to have
Hulk Hogan. Right.
Yeah.
This is a very testosterone-heavy, ticket. Whitmer, Harris are two tough women. My instinct was saying, I don't know if that would work. against this ticket, it could. Like, I buy it. I think it changes the conversation in the fall in a way that, I don't know if that's
and I
what
also
Democrats
think
have.
Generation Z
I think
voters who are
the
just
safe
coming in.
picks,
Yeah.
the safe picks are going to be governors.
Yeah.
And it would be Andy Bashir's a safe pick. Mark Kelly's a safe pick. Maybe a Josh Shapiro's a safe pick. I think Bashir, and I've already talked to some Democratic delegates, Bashir, two-term governor, son of a politician, sort of knows how the insider stuff works. He's probably the easiest person to put on the ticket if you're building an airplane as it takes off. Bashir's probably the safest.
Can I give you one argument for Whitmer?
Man, I'm getting screamed at by the control room.
Sorry, I'm going to give you one argument for Whitmer in that same regard. Whitmer is also from a politically engaged family who grew up in it. So that all your stuff you're saying
About
for
Bashir,
Bashir, Whitmer's got
applies
as
to her.
well. And
Yeah.
here's one more thing for Whitmer. She actually comes from a swing state.
Fair enough.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert, and be sure to join me, Rachel Maddow, Jen Psaki, Lawrence O'Donnell, Steve Kornacki, Joy Reid, and many more September 7th in Brooklyn, MSNBC Live Democracy 2024. Click on the link for ticket information. We will see you there.